Today is August 12, 2026. It is 4:17 a.m. This is video number 2. The first video I started talking about stuff and then I went into politics. So I switched my the order of my list and I focus on the politics aspect of things. So now we're gonna focus on Harry, Meghan, and the leftovers, whatnot. Okay, so let's go on X. First tweet. That's from the Republic. The monarchy is embarrassing and Elizabeth was no saint. Facts from Josie Long abolished the monarchy. Alright, so let's listen. It's only 46 seconds. Screenshot.
I think as well for me, monarchy is so profoundly embarrassing and pathetic.
It is grim.
Yeah, especially people being like, oh, but the Queen was all right. No, she wasn't. None of them are. Like, no, they're not. Until they voluntarily or otherwise give up this status, until they give back to the people who live here so that we can collectively like distribute, like thrive from it. That, you know,
people always used to say, oh, the Queen's never put a foot wrong, and I said, well, she held on to the job of the Queen. That was putting a foot wrong.
Well, also look at the things she presided over. Like, look at the massacres in Kenya she presided over in the 50s. Look at the things
there's a whole load of things.
You know, I could look in any governmental system. There's usually a good in each one of them, but at the end of the day, it could be capitalism. What is it? Totalitarianism. What's the one in China? Communism. You could see a positive in all of them. However, all those systems that they have, okay, was a way to counteract other systems. But when you look at all of them together, they have one fundamental problem. It is greed. Greed that is destroying all of them. For instance, for capitalism, if everybody follow the rules and no special, special favors are given to certain group of people, okay, the system would have worked. Okay, it is greed that is messing up capitalism. All of the system that they have, communism, capitalism, socialism, monarchy, totalitarian, well, the totalitarian, let's just put all of them, all the system that they have. If all of them follow the rules that they set, and, you know, if there needs to be adjustment or whatnot, it will work. But there's always people might laugh when you say totalitarian and then thing will adjust because one person, one voice, and that's the final. But if the rules is set and everybody's following it, then it will be okay. But at the end of the day, if each of these system focus on lifting up their respective countries, I don't know. I think it will be okay. But it's the greed and special interests of certain group of people that usually mess up whatever system they have. You know, little me from the outside, never really participate in governmental, work in the office of government. But when I look at it from the outside, that's what I see. All of them could work, but greed and special interests, and when money get involved, forget it. All rules, they try to break the rule of law that they set for their each respective system, and it mess it up and get people angry. When they, for instance, the regular people might, fault or a mistake or something, they took punish them so harsh. Meanwhile, certain group, when they deliberately do certain things, break the rule of law, they're not punished. So the balance of the system is no longer there. It get people angry. All right. But if the rules for each system, I'm repeating myself, is set, are set, and everybody's following their respective system, it will work, and the focus would have been on protecting the each respective countries of the system, and keep people safe. I don't know if I'm even making sense, but that's all. All right, so that's that, and I I don't think I'm in any position to tell anybody anything about their system, but I think all of them could work if they follow the rules that was sent, that was implemented for that particular system. All right, so this one is kind of funny. They retweeted, Kaiser retweeted that, all right, from Pop Base. Today is National Lazy Day. That was what, August 10th. All right, and then she put both of them. I thought that was funny. I was like, no, you didn't. All right, the squad are laughing. The Macbeth at Zendy Sussex. Okay, so that's an ad. Let's go to the next one. Okay, there's the next tweet. The unroyal family think they have faced the worst threat to their reign with the Andrew Epstein revelation. They have not realized that they have bigger problems to come if William ever gets to become king. His narcissism, vindictiveness, rage, laziness, caliciousness, and greed will be the prerequisites a Republic of the UK has been seeking. Not to mention the many secrets held by his media pals who agreed to a story about Harry instead of reporting the truth, or the silence of the Middleton family, who all have him right where they want him. Okay, yes, good connection, and so true. He will never be king. We will not say never, but we, from the outside, I don't see things changing for them. He will never be king. Mina read the tea leaves, and she has never been wrong. Everything happened she predicted, and the fuss perpetrated of the KP marriage, lol. Paid partnership. So is this being paid? I don't know. I pray she's right. I live in home with your non-skills. William and his bully abusive temper will likely be the third Mad King of England. That creature is already yelling at his cruel father while he deals with cancer. That image of him hitting the father in the head when he was younger. Exactly, he's a piece of work, definitely the third Mad King. Compared to Harry, he is dull and ditchwater, vengeful as a woman, scorned and aimlessly clueless. You said better than I ever could. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. We shall see. But one thing I have to say, keep in mind the way the US is moving, and keep an eye on the UK. There's a parallel between both of them. They are on the same page. Part where Harry said his family is trapped.
My father and my brother, they are trapped.
You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force. And my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us.
Okay, I think the same thing is happening here in the US with those politicians, the little black book. So I think they're doing the same thing with the UK. What these people have done is they using other government, okay, blackmail other government to do the fighting for them. Again, anybody who's outside the US, keep an eye on what's going on in the USA, because this could easily happening to you. If you see ethic and basic understanding is not being acknowledged by your respective politician, just put a question mark on it. Okay, because there's so many things that is happening in the US where basic, the same way I be calling out the UK, basic childish understanding, it's not happening over here. So once they get the money, in my humble opinion, from these people, okay, they set them up, and then these men, they become afraid. Okay, they show they're tough, but they are afraid. So those other countries, you know who I'm talking about, where the US is already trying to put plan. I mean, they're not afraid, or they have no shame to merge the two militaries, okay, to do the fighting for them. All right. So the same thing that you see is happening in the US. The UK is not far from it, and many other countries not far from it. Okay, those with integrity then take the bait of, taking an extra little pocket change under the table to do the bidding for them. So they're standing tall against them. So every other countries pay attention. So right now, the US is running by another country. It's not the United States way. And I've said it in past videos where when you look at after World War II, the U.S. who helped, how the U.S. role in World War II. So they want to make sure the U.S. is on their side. All right. So they make sure to neutralize the U.S. So now the U.S. is on their side. Okay. As much. All right. I don't want to go too deep on this, but this is something I keep on saying. The Jewish, the Zionists, I always feel like they are the Nazis. Okay, they just change their name and take the identity of Jewish, and then they continue the same destruction that they started in Germany. All right, but it's so much more. So they pretty much pick up where they left off, but they make sure to neutralize the US and the UK as well, because these were too powerful, and the US is always in war anyway. But they make sure to neutralize them to be on their side, and then by doing that is those politicians they keep on putting in office. Propaganda works. It's very sad. I mean, they didn't just start it like this. It's like when you're cutting a tree, you start at the bottom a little bit at a time, until it spread. They start removing certain information, don't teach certain things, and work with their propaganda, make it fun while they destroying itself. I'm talking about in the US. So there's so much to it. Let me just leave it as that. All right. The thing with the UK, they don't come in front to show you that they are along with the UK. They will pretend they're not, but they are the driving force of some of the thing that's happening in the US. Okay. I forgot to post this behind the scene unedited captures of these two. There's that, obviously not captured by KP. Kate tried to take William's hand, and once again his body language was like, no thank you. The whole look looks so messy from this angle. She really needs to calm the extension down. I'll show you, but whatever. I don't know when she's gonna learn. William doesn't want to be touched in public. There must be some deep resentment with him. Why did he marry her if that sort of feeling against her is like that? Oh my God. Looks like KP got new set of bats in this comment section. Here comes the blocking spree. Right, let's pause this. They don't live together, period. There is no evidence whatsoever. That is why UK tabloid keep printing forever homes. Oh my God. Why can't she ever just scrape her hair into an elegant bun and like Meghan does? Whatever. If this is the way she likes it, whatever. Next tweet. Okay, so they're talking about that funeral. Man, looking at the image of the kids since the queen passed, they really grown. Alright, the unmarried wives of Windsor, with one exception. History shows and continues to show how women who marry into the Windsor clan never get their happy after. With the exception of Duchess of Sussex. I wonder why. Is it because of the inbuilt misogyny, or simply because the marriages have been based on duty rather than love, while other Sussexes are exception? Could it be because for the first time they marry out of love? Very interesting. And because of that, well, not because of that, but many reasons, they isolate her, and I will never understand why these women are like that. Alright, with all due respect, Camilla Parker Bowles did get her happy ever after, her children and grandchildren too financially. That is true. I agree with that. But did she? She might have gotten some financial advantages, but how many years left to enjoy? You think she cares? She's enjoying it now. It's the now you have to think about. She worked her butt off to get to the now. Alright, her children and grandchildren will be financially better off, but will have to live with the history of how they got this. Is she happy, and was it all worth it? You think she give a F about it? They have no shame. That's the thing with these people. There's no shame in that game. Now, the only thing that can be done, probably, let's say once Charles is gone, or even the monarchy is gone, they could revisit how did the children get those money, and then take it back. That would be the only thing for me. I don't know. Next tweet. Because he didn't give his son Harry any financial help. If Princess Diana didn't leave some money for him, I don't know.
Driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name, because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla? It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
But he married Meghan, a very, well-educated person who have ideas to create. All right, next tweet. Harry will have all the fun. Looks like he's ended up with the looks and the swag too, because Granddad really looks a bit... I don't know. Okay, please, SK, let me rest for a minute. I can't stop laughing. I know, she's so funny. Let's pause this. William looks like a man who is trying to outpace reality. He has invested very little himself and being anything but a future king. He is so desperate to fill that role because he can be defined by that crown 1,000 years of other people's work has shaped. He can then sit back. Harry was always the good one, everyone's fave. The late Queen Mother, our Queen of Hearts, Diana, all left him huge wealth and ironclad secret wills. The moment he left, I don't know about, they left him a lot. The moment he left and couldn't be used as a scapegoat, the facade imploded. Let's see what they say here. Okay, I can't see. Grandpa is on his way to great grandpa status by 50. Granddad laughing my ass off. Seriously, Dirty Harry. Rest assured, Prince William will have the last laugh. Alright, so why is he not laughing now? Okay, he wanted Harry out. Harry is out, okay, of the UK. Why is he still not happy? So which means he will never be happy. Next tweet. Prince William has reportedly been briefing pals that once his king, Archie and Lilibet will be stripped of their HRH title, a supposedly grown man fantasizing about how he'll punish toddlers while the king he'll make. And the thing is that, okay, look at them. Harry and Meghan and the kids. For all I know, I don't think Harry and Meghan tell them they are princess. Maybe now, because since they the summer vacation, maybe they know. But I don't think they consider themselves princess and prince and whatnot. They're doing fine without the title or people curtsying to them or in the US. So they'll do just fine. It's just a name. It can't possibly be, can it? That Will is desperately searching for a narrative the public will swallow to justify his petty, malicious behavior. No, it must be something nobler, like duty or tradition or whatever dusty words gets Will out when the palace needs to polish a turd, because he can very well come out and say, quote, I thought Harry would be my whipping boy forever. I'll never forgive him for having his own life. That is true. What about Andrew? He gets a free pass. He's neither mixed heritage, nor a woman, nor American. Alright, if he does, William should be very wary about showing the world how easy it is to strip titles on a whim. Yeah. Alright, Prince William has reportedly been briefing pals that once he's king. Okay, so they're repeating that again. That. Yeah, once he does that, then things gonna start happening for the others who rely deeply on those titles. Alright, next tweet. Let's pause this. So a strange thing is happening. Why are some royal stands accounts starting to do Meghan and Harry edits in positive way? I guess hate isn't paying anymore. I have seen so many accounts doing positive edits of Meghan alone and some with Harry, and they are all going viral. The social media thing is changing. Like on my last video, I was talking about how YouTube, okay, is changing the way content creators making money. Because before they were relying on misinformation, people, talking trash or whatnot. So now that many Americans are talking about what's going on in their area locally and things that they see that is wrong with the government, so they don't want that. So they are discouraging people from talking about things that really matters. So now that I don't know, maybe it could also be as well, I'm talking about Twitter now, those lawsuits that keeps on being with X and other places, TikTok, whatnot, they're suing them, and they are losing. Those social media are losing because people are suing them. So now they're telling them you better do this or else your account gonna be closed. I don't know. Clearly bait and switch. Things on the clock app never go viral by accident. Plus it gives them plausible deniability when they go back to business as usual. That part. They think they're slick. We can smell cockroaches when we see them, and did. I mean, whenever I come across them, I just block them. I don't want to see their nonsense. If I could see it the first time, and I have time, either I respond to you and then block you. Alright, next tweet. Bwaaaaaa, let me sit down and have a good laugh. Doesn't Niall Gardner get tired of losing? The court just told him to F off again, what a duffer and a loser. So is he going back to court again? Okay, I blocked this account. Alright, people are laughing. Let's read bottom up. Senior Lieutenant Zenny, I'm joining you to laughing those ones. Actively trying to break up a marriage. Okay, that is what these royal rodents do every day since 2016. Laughing. Still trying and failing. The organization he works for is very powerful right-wing organization here in the US, and it puzzles me why they are letting him waste money like this on this personal obsession of his. He looks and acts so creepy regarding the Sussexes. They hate that Harry married a woman of color. Alright, so let's see what they're talking about. So I'm done with this tweet. So she retweeted that, which I blocked. So since I have the option, I could view. Let's see here. Let's go into it. Prince Harry Visa Freedom of Information Act case update. I thought that was done with. They were done with that a long time ago. Okay, I wonder why Admiral Gardner hasn't posted about his victory. Let's see here. Oh, it's so small. What date? Okay, case number 810. That was like 2 days ago. August 10, 2026. Okay, I will have to enlarge it. It's very small. Let me pause for a second. I'm gonna take a screenshot so I can enlarge it, because right now I cannot see it. Okay, so I took a screenshot. Let's increase it to here. All right, let's see. Oh, it's blurry. Okay, pursuant to the court March 31st 2025 minutes order. Sorry, I may not read the thing properly. Okay, plaintiff, the Heritage Foundation, and Mike Howell, and defendant, the Department of State, respectfully submit this joint status report. This parties report as follows. 1. This case, I don't know what that word is, from a Freedom of Information Act. Okay, request that plaintiff submit to the department for record regarding Henry Charles Albert David, also known as the Duke of Sussex or Prince Harry. 2. The State Department made its first, what is that? Entourism, oh my God. Okay, these two words I cannot. Okay, let's see. The State Department made its first interim production. Okay, I got it now. Production in this case on July 30th, 2026, in which it identify, okay, I think this is 18 respective records, all withheld in their entirety pursuant to the Immigration and Nationality Act 8 USC. Okay, there's the section here of Freedom of Information Act exemption. Okay, I'm gonna look what these sections are. The department will make best effort to issue further production every 8 weeks from the date of its first interim production going forward. Pursuant to the court March 31st 2025 minutes order, the parties will file their whatever. So it seems like he went back to court to find out about Harry status. So the department keeps on sending, the thing was done with. All right, let me see what this section is all about. Let me pause. All right, so I type on Google, okay, FOAI exemption B5. They do the section B6, B7, C, and B7E. So let's look at part of it. Okay, so there's the B5 version. Freedom of Information Act exemption 5 USC, okay, 552B5 protects internal government communication and documents that will be shielded from discovery and civil litigation. It ensures agencies can engage in candid, uninhibited discussion without fear of premature public disclosure. Wow. Deliberate process privilege protects pre-decisional documents that contain opinion, recommendation, and analysis used in agency decision making. Note the deliberative process privilege no longer applies to record created 25 years or more before the date they were requested. Attorney-client privilege. Okay, so this is it here. You could go on YouTube, on Google, and type the section, and then things will pop up and explain to you what it is about. All right, so I took the screenshot. There's the screenshot here. So you could look more into, I don't know, these people have time and money. All right, what a loser, the squad are laughing. Okay, this deserved the double redacted treatment. All right, so they gave him the thing, and that's what, literally, the last time he was in court. Not this past, August 10th. I think that was like last year. They give it to him, but they redacted everything. Freedom of information. This is what happened when you have good lawyers who knows the section. You know what crossed my mind? I'm wondering the trip that Charles made, because the government in the UK told him not to travel, but he insists on going. I'm wondering if it was a special favor he was trying to ask Trump to do for him, do these steps to get William, to get Harry out. But the thing is that many officials who are in position are following the rule of law. And also, remember, Meghan's niece or something is an immigration lawyer. So she probably did the paperwork for Harry very good. So they can't really go around it, circumnavigate around it. And also, let's not forget, a couple years ago, I did a video about Harry's status. The squad came after me, but I was just speculating, asking myself questions. But I came to find out there are different type of visas, different depend on your status. Okay, Harry is a royal. Many royals are living in the U.S. So many of those things that Trump is doing probably will not apply to Harry. So the lawyer, the documentation, the steps that they did to secure Harry's documentation in the U.S. is probably secure. All right, so they can't really go around it. And you know what was really good about that is when Nile Gardner was going after Harry. Okay, it was during Biden. So, Biden just let the process take place. He had nothing to do with it. But if it was now, you see how Trump get involved in almost everything, maybe he would have done something. But still, many judges don't listen to idiots trying to tell them to do crazy stuff. So the rule of law is being implemented. They cannot go around it, trying to break it just because they don't want Harry here, because Harry here is doing good things, and the people, the area in California welcome him. And when he's doing things, even though he's doing things secretly, people are still talking about it. So it makes the UK look bad. So all of this is probably being play a role, I think. I'm just saying. I remember, okay, one of the presenters, I know exactly who it is because I don't have the video. I cannot share it. I cannot say who it is because I don't have the video. This presenter was saying, oh, don't worry, once Trump get in office, they're gonna send him back. So many of these people, of all people, look at what popped up.
Andrew.
Of all people, okay, they know, they knew what the plan was gonna be in America. All right, that presenter was in the UK. All right, he said once Trump get in office, they're gonna send Harry back. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. I don't have the video, but I remember who that person is. All right, next tweet. Andrew shouldn't have a funeral paid for by us. Neither should any of the other royals. They can pay for it themselves. Abolish the monarchy. So there's no comment. It's a retweet. That's from the Republic. Pause again. It's not based on their worth as a person. It's based on their blood. She tagged somebody here. Says Prince Andrew reportedly being eligible for a taxpayer-funded funeral is another example of the monarchy being too absurd for modern life. You know what I'm thinking? They're already talking about funeral. Oh my God. Do they have something preparing? Because I remember leading up to the Queen's death, they started showing pictures of her like she's incapable, buttons upside down, not buttoned properly, and then they're showing images of her as if she was in a coffin. So are they preparing something now? I mean, the UK is kind of crazy. Let's listen, screenshot, okay?
Andrew is still somebody's son and somebody's brother and somebody's father and somebody's grandfather, as we've been reminded just the last couple of weeks. So you just leave it to the royals to put something on?
Yeah, no one's saying you shouldn't have a funeral. Everyone should have the right to a funeral, obviously, whatever they've done. But you know what? He's a close associate. He was a close associate of a convicted paedophile. He knew he was a convicted paedophile, and he is alleged to have sexually abused, in fact, raped Virginia Jeffrey, who died, obviously, last year after horrific treatment at the hands of the close friend of the former Prince Andrew. a close associate. So I just think, look, they can do their own funeral. They can cover the costs for a private funeral. It shows the absurdity, obviously, in my view, of the monarchy. I know that puts me in a minority in this country. No, things are shifting, which is you end up with people completely arbitrarily because they're born into a family, and regardless of who they are and what they do and how good or bad they are, they're supposed to have these special honours bestowed upon them. It's not based on their worth as a person, it's just based on their blood. And that includes people like this, who the vast majority of people in this country clearly have utter contempt for, and they don't want a ceremony for, but we're expected to have that kind of ceremony just because of his blood, and that's absurd.
But yeah, well, I suppose a lot of society works in that kind of way, doesn't it?
Should it, though?
Connections, or so the Queen.
I mean, look how Jeremy Vine is taking. Is that his name, Jeremy Vine? Right? Is taking the side, making excuses for the royal family.
In QE2, our dear late Queen. That's 162 million. That's the full cost of a state funeral now. No suggestion he gets that, obviously, but it's just in contrast, the Queen Mum and Mrs T was a £5 million funeral. Now, the question is whether you could run to that. You wouldn't want to see a ceremonial funeral?
Not 5 million.
I'm not going to be able to make this argument, am I?
Look, I think where I would disagree with Owen, I actually think that, look, former Prince Andrew aside, Owen's absolutely right to talk about the victims. But overall, I think the monarchy provides incredibly good value for money for this country, the amount they bring in terms of tourism, the soft power that they represent. And let's not forget, the sovereign grant isn't actually paid for out of general taxation. It's paid for from the profits of the Crown estate, which the royal family then hand over to the government, and they get some of it back, about 15%.
But that's all a bit of a mathematical trick, isn't it? Because the Crown estate is basically ours, not theirs.
Wasn't too long ago I came across
Andrew is
some report that how much it was costing the taxpayers or something. There was a deficit. I don't remember how it went, but not too long ago. This year, could have been last month. All right. So not the content of their character or their worth as a person. Anything else in the news recently where people gain an advantage, not based on their worth? Does this guy do irony or what? Okay, the monarchy should be replaced with a drum roll, please. President Jason Day. He runs marathons. He invented the bicycle. There is no end to this ex-Cambridge professor's talent. Okay, so glad I'm not watching today, or more that I'm not listening to Owen Jones. Okay, Andrew will be buried quietly at Windsor, so don't worry, Jeremy. You will not get an invite. Don't make this guy ramble on major crimes, I'm begging you. Jeremy Vine, at least our weakest side family, tying the fact. Let's go to the next tweet. And millions to bury somebody. Next tweet, okay? Will you believe that Meghan, the undisputed queen of the Cape Fresh, is being accused of copying Kitty? Oh, is she? Oh, oh, I thought it was one image. Oh my goodness. That weekend where Meghan popped up with all of those, oh my God, the Balenciaga in Paris. Oh my goodness. There's all of that she's showing. Okay, the rewrite of history is all the British media knows. Mama Mariam famously said, the conqueror writes history. They came, they conquer, and they write. You cannot expect those who invade us to write the truth about us. That is true. Even as a female, Meghan came first. What could be possibly be copying? Sadly, yes, I can. Alright, so there's that. Again, all these are for the future, okay? For the future, not for the now. And if people don't like the squad who's what do you call this? We putting the truth out there, they will not have the other side of the story. Alright, next week. I think one of the big issue with the British royal family is that they can't keep the media cycle going for more than 6 hours, and that's being generous. This is one of many reasons why they want Harry and Meghan to disappear and retreat from public life. It's not gonna happen. Okay, dressed in matching monochrome outfits, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex enjoy a rare evening tete-a-tete. Okay, tete-a-tete. Is that a French word for head-to-head? On the occasion of the David Foster Foundation Gala. Alright, so Vogue was talking about it. Okay, 6 hours is on a quiet day when nothing else is happening. Okay, this is very true. There was the whole gang out on some Commonwealth game and barely 2 hours in, and very few remained interested. I didn't even report on it. And the kids were present. The kids then. The only part that I share with you was when Sophie and the husband, okay, went to one of the games. They looked so bored there. And the kids were present. The kids don't even get them the coverage they need to sustain interest because the monarchy depends on public buy and remain relevant. If cute kids won't do it for them, they are in hugely big trouble. Okay, very huge trouble, because this is the stage in those kids' lives where many, in my view, will be interested, giving the transition from infants to teens or preteens. To see minimal interest is actually surprising, and quite frankly, that you'll find in royalists and British royals. Okay, no, I disagree. If the media will look underneath the carpet and check the closet the same way they do Harry and Meghan, there will be tons of stories like alleged self-harm, SA, affairs, and corrupt envoys and missing Kate. Instead, they all got in the past since Meghan became the target. Being very generous, Kath and Will can be out and headlines in the mail, but quickly dumped to the royal section where we can read about Fergie, Beatrice, and Anne, £20 million saving. His tux was black and she was in navy. Come on, Vogue France. Let's go to the next tweet. I have one more after this. Phew. Meanwhile, there are plenty of news that's going on around the world. It's insane. They want to keep people in the dark, interesting and nonsense. And meanwhile, the people who wants to remain on top, okay, who's controlling the country, they're driving the country to a ditch. How the British media, like The Sun, etc., oppose journalists and writers and ask them to write lies about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Yes, many have said yes, and many are still saying yes to the hate money. The mouthpieces like Amanda Platel and Sarah Vine, among others, are being paid to write lies about Meghan. Meghan Sussex. So let's listen to this. I have this video as well.
About how the media inflames this. I was called by the Sun newspaper. If you don't know what the Sun is, it's sort of
got the topless girl on page 3. That's all you need to know.
And they called me about a month ago to ask if I'd write about how Meghan was like Wallace and how Meghan was going to destroy the royal family and the arguments between Meghan and Kate. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not privy to all of this. I don't think I could do it. And the commissioning editor was really twisting my arm to write this article and say, but you could say, couldn't you, that X happened, and you could say that she's fired all her staff, and you could say that Kate has said this. And I said, well, I'm really sorry, I don't know that, I can't do it. And this conversation went on for about half an hour, and I didn't write the article, but it just gives you an insight into how this whole thing is being, the flames are being fanned by the media.
Yep. Oh, there's no comment. All right, let's go to the next tweet, and this is my last one. Unbelievable. Paying people to write lies. All right, yes it is. So she retweeted that. Still the hottest wedding photo of all time. Look at them. Oh my God, Harry was like all into it, lost into that kiss, and Meghan too. Wow. Okay. Oh, there's me here 11 hours ago. The facts is lost in that case, same as Mrs. The best thing of it all, they both don't give a F. There's the fire and all of that. Let's see what other people are saying into it. They look love drunk. LOL to all the people in the comment who've never been in love. This is what it looks like. That's for sure. Okay, Meghan thinks she was the prize. She was the prize. She still is. Look at her husband's reaction. Meghan sachet at the Buckingham Palace garden party told me all I need to know, if you get my drift. I know you don't know, but having your back blown out realign your spine for the better. He married her, not you. So yeah, she is the price. Exactly. That's why he wants to spend his whole life with her. Her husband knows she was and is. He won. Okay, Harry definitely thinks so. There's the laugh here. And she was then and still is. Okay? Alright, that's an ad. Yeah, look at him. He's lost in there. He's lost in that kiss. And then knowing what we know now, the horror, the nonsense that they were going through, okay, in the background, and to see they made it, I'm pretty sure that's like a win for them. All right, so that is it. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for love. Let's do that. All right. Lord, prepare my heart for the partner you have for me. Help me to be patient, hold, and content in you while I wait. Lead me to someone who loves you first and whose heart aligns with mine. Give me wisdom to recognize true, healthy love when it arrives. All right, so that's that. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching.
Bwaaaaaa. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.